The border between China and India is more than a line. It's a world of rock, ice, and extremes. The Himalayas and Karakoram form a vertical wilderness, where the air is thin and every breath is a struggle. Temperatures plunge, winds howl, and the cold is a constant, deadly threat. Here, nature is raw power, unpredictable and unforgiving. Survival demands toughness and respect for the land. Flat ground is rare. The landscape is all peaks and plunging valleys. Weather can shift from sunshine to blizzard in minutes. Isolation is a fact of life. Villages are days apart, cut off by wild rivers and impassable gorges. For centuries, these mountains acted as a fortress, shaping how people live, move, and survive. The rivers are not gentle streams but raging torrents, carving deep scars into the land. Even the deserts of Xinjiang are harsh, scorching by day, freezing by night. Only the most resilient survive here, locked in a daily battle with the elements. Building a road or reaching a doctor is a monumental task. Every aspect of life is defined by the struggle against gravity, cold, and distance. You have to be smart, strong, and work with nature, never against it. Out here, nature always has the final say. The geography has kept armies at bay and preserved ancient ways of life. But it also isolates, making every achievement hard-won. This is a place that humbles, inspires, and tests the limits of human endurance. The high frontier is not just a border, it's a crucible of survival. Before borders, the first people here were nomads, following their herds through the mountains. Yaks were their lifeline. Food, fuel, shelter, and warmth all came from these animals. In a treeless land, yak dung was as precious as gold. These early people read the mountains like a map, surviving by knowing every plant, cloud, and pass. Their world was alive with spirits. Every mountain, lake, and river had its own power. The Bon faith shaped their rituals, with shamans bridging the human and spirit worlds. Life revolved around the tribe. Survival depended on trust and cooperation. Knowledge was passed down through stories and songs, not books. Tradition and honor were the law. Your word was your bond. Community was everything. Winters were survived together. These herders were ultimate survivors, adapting to the land rather than conquering it. Their skills, reading weather, finding food, navigating danger, were vital. They didn't just endure the mountains, they became part of them. Their footprints marked the beginning of human resilience in this high-altitude wilderness. They proved that even the harshest places can become home. Everything changed with the rise of the Tibetan Empire in the 7th century. Songtsen Gampo united scattered tribes, creating a powerful kingdom among the peaks. The empire brought order, a written script, and a unified military. Buddhism arrived, transforming beliefs and daily life. Monasteries became centers of learning, art, and power. Heartbeats of village life. The empire sat at the crossroads of ancient trade, linking Tibet to China, India, and Central Asia. Trade routes brought silk, salt, tea, and new ideas. Isolation faded as traders and cultures mingled. Even after the empire declined, Buddhism and the monasteries endured, blending with older Bon traditions. The trade routes kept the region connected, sparking a golden age of culture. The Tibetan Empire gave the region a shared identity and a spiritual compass. Its legacy shaped the high frontier for centuries. The mountains were no longer just barriers, they became bridges to the wider world. A new era of culture and connection had begun. After the empire faded, border villages slipped into centuries of quiet isolation. Empires in Beijing were distant. Local monasteries and headmen ruled daily life. Self-sufficiency was essential. Families grew barley, herded yaks, and used every resource. Life was hard but predictable, shaped by the seasons and ancient traditions. Festivals and storytelling kept culture alive, binding communities together. Elders were living libraries, passing down history and wisdom. With few books and no outside entertainment, tradition was everything. When a family built a house, the whole village helped. During blizzards, neighbors shared food and fuel. This deep sense of community was their greatest survival tool. The mountains isolated them from wars and politics below. For hundreds of years, life changed little, a testament to resilience and cooperation. Culture and survival were inseparable. The high frontier became a world apart, defined by tradition and mutual dependence. In this harsh land, community meant survival. Isolation forged a culture as strong as the mountains themselves. The British Empire arrived in the 19th century, bringing new ambitions and rivalries. The Great Game with Russia turned Tibet's borderlands into a strategic chessboard. British expeditions mapped the region, seeking control and clear borders. The concept of fixed borders was foreign to local nomads, whose lives followed pastures, not lines. In 1914, the McMahon Line was drawn, an artificial boundary that would spark decades of conflict. For villagers, these politics were distant and confusing. Life on the ground changed little at first. The British wanted a buffer, not direct control, so isolation persisted. But the seeds of future disputes were sown, borders cut through tribal lands and trade routes. China never accepted the McMahon Line, fueling ongoing tension. Villagers found themselves caught between empires, their fate shaped by distant decisions. The Great Game ended, but its legacy of disputed territory and uncertainty remained. The high frontier became a pawn in global power struggles. In 1949, the Communist Party took power in China, ending Tibet's isolation. The PLA marched in, and Beijing began direct control over the high mountain villages. Land reform dismantled the old order. Monasteries lost power. Land was redistributed. For some, this meant opportunity. For others, upheaval and loss. The border became a militarized zone, especially after the 1962 Sino-Indian War. Villages found themselves on the front line of a new Cold War. The government imposed strict control, movement was restricted, loyalty demanded, religion was suppressed, monasteries closed, traditions attacked. The Cultural Revolution destroyed much of the region's heritage. Ancient ways were replaced by a new, secular, socialist culture. For border villagers, it was a time of immense upheaval. Old worlds vanished overnight. The mountains were no longer a refuge from outside forces. In the 1980s, China shifted focus to economic development, even in the remotest villages. Roads blasted through mountains, ending centuries of isolation. Trucks and buses brought goods, ideas, and people from the outside world. Villagers could now reach towns, markets, and hospitals. New schools and clinics brought modern education and medicine. Tourism emerged as a new industry. Guest houses, guides, and handicrafts offered fresh opportunities. Life expectancy rose, literacy improved, and poverty declined. Concrete houses replaced dirt floor huts. But rapid change came at a cost. Traditional ways began to erode. The new roads brought not just prosperity, but also outside values and pressures. The frontier was being transformed, plugged into the modern world. Old rhythms faded as new possibilities arrived. The mountains were no longer barriers. They became highways to the future. For many, life became easier, but also less familiar. The high frontier was changing faster than ever before. Today's border villages are a blend of old and new. Stone houses stand beside government-built concrete homes, often flying the Chinese flag. Inside, butter lamps glow next to flat-screen TVs. Solar panels power satellite dishes. Cell phones and social media connect even the most remote villagers to the world. Digital payments are common. QR codes replace cash. The yak herder checks the weather on his smartphone. The economy mixes tradition and modernity, yaks and barley, but also tourism and government jobs. Civil-military integration is key. Villagers work on state projects and serve the military presence. Yet tradition endures. Chubas, incense, and Buddhist festivals remain central. Pilgrimages to sacred sites continue. Villagers balance digital dreams with ancient rituals. They live at the crossroads of global China and Himalayan heritage. The high frontier is now a place of contrasts. Old roots, new realities. Life on the high frontier is still a battle, against nature and new challenges. The cold and altitude remain relentless. A single landslide can cut off a village for weeks. Medical care is distant. Survival is never guaranteed. Cultural survival is now as urgent as physical survival. Young people grow up speaking Mandarin, scrolling through global pop culture. Old skills and stories are fading. Elders fear their culture will vanish. The border is heavily militarized. Patriotism is expected. Freedoms are limited. Villagers navigate a complex reality. Economic opportunity, political pressure, and cultural loss. The high frontier is a collision of ancient tradition and hypermodernity. These communities are not relics. They are living examples of adaptation. They balance the pull of their ancestors with the push of the future. The struggle for survival continues, but so does resilience. At the roof of the world, people endure. Caught between civilizations, but never defeated. The story of the high frontier is one of transformation, survival,